Okay, we are going to give some tips on both postural and environmental ergonomics. Postural ergonomics aims to prevent musculoskeletal injuries derived from poor posture, while environmental ergonomics seeks to prevent fatigue, stress, and improve productivity by optimizing environmental factors such as light and temperature. Let's start with environmental factors. To check the temperature in this office, we will advance to the middle of the corridor. Would 28 degrees Celsius be a correct temperature? Of course, the country's specific regulation must always be respected, but the ideal temperature of an office varies due to climatic or seasonal factors. It is usually between 20 and 24 degrees, which places this temperature in a higher range than usual and can generate thermal stress, which could cause fatigue, dizziness, and lower concentration of workers, even in this type of sedentary work. To solve this, we could adjust the air conditioning, provide ventilation, constant hydration, rest, and use light clothing. Lighting is another factor that influences both work well-being and even people's visual health. It is recommended to make the most of natural light and that there is no excess or deficiency of light, approximately between 500 and 750 lux as usually established by regulations according to the work carried out and the use of the site. That is, white lighting superior to the lighting of a home, but not excessive as direct sunlight could be. Glare on the screens must be avoided by placing the monitors at 90 degrees angles to the windows and placing artificial lighting in such a way that it doesn't cause it. In this way, we can prevent eye strain, headaches, dry eyes, and blurred vision. Before we start talking about postural ergonomics, let's talk about active breaks. They are those that are recommended to be done every hour or 2 hours of work to combat a sedentary lifestyle, reduce stress, and reduce the risk of musculoskeletal injuries. They can consist of neck, back, wrist stretches, walking around the office, visual exercises such as taking your eyes off the screen. The idea is to activate and move for a short period of time, favoring circulation, reducing muscle pain, and increasing our concentration again. Now we are going to analyze different jobs to be able to talk about related postural risks. In this case, we can see that the computer screen is slightly lower, which could cause the person to have to work with the neck bent down constantly. This could lead to headaches, neck pain, and other long-term consequences. The proper height would be when the top of the monitor is about eye level. In the following case, the same thing happens with the difference that, in this case, a laptop is being used. To get the upper edge of the monitor to eye level, we will need a preferably adjustable support to support it and place it at the desired height. As a consequence of using a stand, it will also be necessary to use an additional keyboard conveniently placed. When analyzing the following job, we can also see that the neck is constantly rotating, which would also cause neck pain, torticollis, and muscle stiffness. The correct way to place the screens is in front of the person, so that we can keep the neck as straight as possible. The next mistake is a very common one, since many people tend not to sit correctly in the chair, supporting the back and especially the lumbar area on the back of the chair so that it is straight. This can cause muscle fatigue, lower back pain, and sciatica. In the next case, we have a person whose screen is located too close, which can cause strain and physical discomfort due to the excessive effort that the eyes must make to read at close range. Depending on the size of the screen, since a tablet is not the same as a large monitor, we will place it at a distance of between 45 and 70 centimeters, approximately the length of her arm. If we move forward, we will find a worker who does not have her feet flat on the ground, which could cause low back pain, that is, pain in the lower back, and circulatory problems, since the blood returns with greater difficulty to the heart due to the pressure produced in the back of the thighs that compresses veins and nerves. In this case, it would only be necessary to introduce a footrest that allows us to support and keep the knees at the level of the seat of the chair at an angle of 90 degrees. Just to the left is a person who has their legs crossed, which could also cause circulatory problems and even postural and muscular problems such as spinal misalignment. In the next stall, we can see how the armrests collide with the drawers of the table and do not allow her to approach or use them. If we don't have or use the armrest, we force the body to constantly support the upper limbs, which generates muscle tension in the shoulders, neck, and upper back. The risk of suffering tendinitis or carpal tunnel syndrome is also increased as in the following case. As we can see, the keyboard is too close to the edge, not allowing the wrist to be supported, which increases the risk of carpal tunnel syndrome, that is, compression of the median nerve that can cause tingling and pain in the hand and fingers. It is recommended to move the keyboard about 10 cm away from the edge and use a raised rest. Now we can see a person whose keyboard is very tilted and therefore has to arc the wrist in turn to be able to write. This posture also generates muscle tension and increases the risk of tendinitis and carpal tunnel syndrome. If we move the mouse too far from the keyboard, as in the following case, we will have to force the shoulder repeatedly, subjecting it to an unnatural posture and constant mechanical overload. The solution is simple: place the mouse right next to the keyboard. When we analyze the next person, we can see that the chair is not properly adjusted. The angle of the legs is less than 90 degrees, which would cause muscle tension due to adopting inappropriate postures and various musculoskeletal disorders in the medium and long term, such as shortening the hamstrings muscles. Using a mouse that is too small or flat implies that the hand adopts an inappropriate posture, forcing the hand to remain flexed when what is sought is exactly the opposite, that is, that the hand remains in the most natural and least forced position possible. The solution would be to use a more ergonomic mouse to avoid hand and wrist injuries. The following situation is very common, since if the table is too messy, it may not allow us to position the rest of the elements correctly, forcing us to adopt forced or uncomfortable postures during work. Finally, we see another person who is hands-over working. In order to optimize your position, you should use a stand to place the laptop at the correct height and correct your posture by resting your back in the back of the chair. So much for the advice on environmental and postural ergonomics that we wanted to convey to you. We hope you find them useful and help you prevent possible injuries. Remember to apply them.